This is your dose of daily market wisdom with master trader Nick Santiago. Starting from humble beginnings, Nick has been beating the markets for over 2 decades. He shares with you his take on the profitable trades that will have you moving towards financial freedom in no time at all. To see an in-depth review of his track record and much more, go to inthemoneystocks.com. Welcome. This is your daily dose of daily market wisdom with master trader Nick Santiago. This is one of our last shows of the year. It's going to be a sparse schedule coming up, but this is it's 12/19/22, show 450. Nick, we're thinking a light volume trading week, but we've had those major crashes that have taken place right on the holiday weekends, which is something that over the past 10 years never occurred.
Yeah, you got a great point, and that is true. But I have to say, going into the Christmas holiday, which is obviously Christmas this year falls on a Sunday, so this is the last trading week before that, I have to think that we're probably looking at light volume. The markets are getting a bit oversold as we speak, and a lot of traders historically take time off. Even myself, I'll be taking next week off. So, a lot of traders are going to go away. They're going to say, hey, you know what? I got to live a little bit. Got to get away from the screen. I got to get away from the news. And I just have to unwind a little bit. And I think the light volume trends, as we get into next week, will lift the markets a little bit. So, Santa may not come to town and bring a lot of gifts, but you're not getting a new bull market for Christmas, but you may get a little bounce.
Yeah, well, I saw Santa Claus the other day in downtown Delray, but he didn't look that happy. I didn't see him with his bag of toys. He looked like the stock market hit and the declining economy had really taken its toll on Mrs. Santa and the elves, I'll tell you.
Well, I think a lot of people this year are in for a rude awakening anyway, right? Because people always think that the stock market goes up, the Federal Reserve is going to always be there to pump liquidity into the system. And Jay Powell did not really play Santa this year. So again, it's just a sign of the times, I believe.
Yeah, Jay Powell is trying to not appear to be Santa and not be the Grinch at the same time, but he's more Grinchy than Santa, right?
Yes, very much a Grinch, I would say.
All right, so Musk, what can you say about Elon Musk that hasn't already been said or thought?
Well, now he comes out with this poll, I guess, if he should be the CEO of Twitter. The majority said no, but I will tell you this, that the Tesla shareholders are not happy with this guy becoming the CEO of Twitter. He sold a lot of his own personal stock. We saw that even more so last week. And if you're a shareholder, and I have neighbors that are shareholders of Tesla, and they ask me all the time, and I say, the stock's going down to $110, and they just don't believe me. But it's not because he's a CEO. That's what's going to happen. That's what the charts are saying is going to happen. So, yes, a lot of people are upset that he is running Twitter now and supposedly putting all of his time into Twitter. But I just saw a picture of him at the World Cup the other day. So, again, I mean, if anybody buys into this stuff, I have a bridge in Brooklyn to sell you. And it's been there for 100 years. So, it's rather fascinating. But, the charts are the charts. Follow the chart. Don't worry about if this guy is going to be the CEO of Twitter or if he's going to be the CEO of Tesla or what he's really doing. The Tesla stock's headed down to $110.
And maybe it's a buy then. You have to.
I think it will be.
Yeah, you got to do a ratio. You got to do a ratio of the share price to the car and how many shares it takes to buy a car, to buy a Tesla. And that will give you the valuation here. Right now, if it goes down to 110, it'll be roughly, what will that be, 600 shares of Tesla to buy a Tesla.
Well, I do it a little bit differently. For me, I'm just going to look at where that stock price goes. And when it hits the support level where the institutions are going to get back in it, that's when I'm going to join that party. But right now, that level for me is about $110.
All right. Speaking of levels, you're still thinking that gold has upside to 1875.
I do. I still am in that camp. The formation did not break. You did have a little sell-off day in gold on the 15th of December, but it never broke pattern. It got a little bit of a bounce on the 16th. And here we are after the weekend on Monday, and gold's holding up pretty well. It's basically flat today. So, yeah, the chart is still good. But after that 1875 area, that's kind of it, Kerry. I'm not looking for much more of an advance in gold after that.
Okay, and silver looks like it's holding pretty close to that $23 level.
Silver's been an absolute monster, and it's holding up very, very well. But it also needs to pull back. I know everybody now is jumping on the silver train. I've been on, I started that bandwagon, on September 1st, Kerry. And right now, I'm going to get back on that bandwagon. But, I sell tops and I buy bottoms. And right now, this is at a level where it needs to pull back. So it hasn't peaked by any means in the bigger stretch, but in the short term, it needs a breather. It needs a consolidation, or even a minor little correction would be nice.
All right. Well, I'm sure we'll see it. And never doubt, Nick, I wanted to talk to you about nat gas. What is happening there? Nat gas and oil.
Yeah, nat gas is getting hammered today. It's down about 9%. On the flip side, oil is up about 1%. So oil is actually showing strength today. Nat gas is getting hit pretty hard. We talked about nat gas when it got to that 710 level. I said it needed to pause there or consolidate. Today it's breaking down a little bit. So it's just going to remain a choppy trade, but there's nothing really terrible here for nat gas, even with the decline today. I'm sure there's probably some kind of news out there on it. I haven't taken notice, but I have seen nat gas today being very, very weak. Overall, though, like I said, if it goes low enough, I'd be picking it up at some point here.
Yeah, I'm liking it. I like the pullback, and it's still trading. When you look at it, it's still trading way, way above its low, I think, which was like 167 or 180, which was not that long ago, Nick.
2020, it was $1.43. So here we are at 6. And, it went to 10. This is just a natural, pullback from a parabolic move. This is not anything that's out of the ordinary. So, and even if you go down to 5, which was where it was defended, basically, if you remember back in October or late October, that's a really good level as well.
Yeah, I'm overall bullish on it. Hey, we're also seeing a major cold spell in Europe. And that does not, that bodes well for the price of nat gas right now. Obviously it's reacting, pulling back from where it was not that long ago. It was, hey, $10, right? $10 nat gas.
Yeah, that's right. But you got to remember, when Europe gets cold, we just had news out there saying that, Europe is going to seek nat gas resources from different places now. They're not going to rely on Russia. So that news is circulating and people are saying, oh, we're going to be fine here. They're not going to be fine. I've lived in Europe. It's freezing. And when you get to the winter months over there, they're going to run through that heating, all of those heating products like a hot knife through butter. So, you have to remember they're going to go through those all types of fuel products very, very quickly, especially natural gas. So, again, I hope it pulls back more. It just gives me a setup.
Yeah, they're going to run out of nat gas like I can't resist. Like Hunter Biden runs through meth on a binge, right?
Hey, you got to be careful saying that.
Well, a certain.
You just got off the shadow banning. You just got off shadow banning.
I know. Let's put it this way: the close relative of a certain politician who's been known to imbibe in a lot of meth and other forbidden fruits during a binge, right? Is that okay?
That sounds much better. Sounds like a lawyer said that one.
Yeah, well, we ran it through the legal department, and that's what they came up with. Hey, so Bitcoin prognosis, nothing's changed there. It's under a little pressure, but you're still saying 11.3. I'm saying about 9,000, and it'll probably be somewhere in between there, right?
Probably, we'll have to wait and see. Right now it's at 16,600, down just a little bit today. But, again, like I always tell everybody, if you're going to try to nibble on this thing here, just be very, very careful. There's very little meat left on this bone. It's headed down to that, at least that 11,300 level, which is what I've calculated on the futures. I was, only at around 13, and then I was at 12. And the longer it takes, the lower it goes. So now I'm at 11,300 to give you an exact number. But, again, the chart is weak. The bigger pattern is weak. And, if you look at the drama that's surrounding this thing, it's unprecedented. We've never seen anything quite like this. So, lower it goes.
All right. Well, that is it for today. Make sure you go over to Nick's site, inthemoneystocks.com, see what he's betting on lately, his latest calls, and check his extensive trading history. The Twitter feeds at ITMS, at Nick Santiago 01, and at Kerry Lutz, KL@kerrylutz.com is the email address. Make sure you post your comments to the YouTube channel. We'll try to get to them. I try to answer them. And Brian, I understand your point, why you think gold is a scam, and gold will be the biggest scam in the world next to Bitcoin until it isn't anymore, and that day is coming. Hey, Nick, we will talk to you on Wednesday.
Sounds good, Kerry.